The issue of lights dimming when a garbage disposer starts can stem from several potential causes. Firstly, consider the high initial current draw. As mentioned, a disposer, upon startup, demands a significant surge of current. This inrush can create a temporary voltage drop within the circuit, manifesting as dimmed lights. This is especially noticeable if other appliances or devices are simultaneously operating on the same circuit. Secondly, the issue could be insufficient wire size. The circuit's wiring might be inadequate to handle the combined load of the disposer and other connected devices. Undersized wires lead to increased resistance, causing excessive voltage drop and the observed dimming. Thirdly, inspect for loose connections. Loose connections at the disposer itself, within the electrical panel, or at any point along the circuit's path can introduce high resistance. This elevated resistance impedes current flow, resulting in voltage drop and, consequently, dimmed lights. Fourthly, the disposer itself might be faulty. A malfunctioning disposer can draw an abnormally high current or have internal electrical issues that contribute to the dimming phenomenon. Fifthly, consider an overloaded circuit. The lighting circuit might be burdened with too many devices, including the disposer. This overload strains the circuit's capacity, leading to voltage drop and dimmed lights. Lastly, other underlying electrical issues might be at play. These could include a compromised grounding system or a faulty circuit breaker, both of which can contribute to the dimming lights. To address this issue systematically, consider the following recommendations. Firstly, verify the wire size of the circuit. Ensure it's adequately sized to accommodate the combined load of the disposer and all other devices connected to the circuit. Consult relevant electrical codes, such as the National Electrical Code, to determine the appropriate wire gauge for the circuit's amperage rating and length of run. Secondly, conduct a thorough inspection of all connections. Carefully examine the connections at the disposer, within the electrical panel, and at every junction box along the circuit. Look for any signs of looseness, corrosion, or damage. Tighten any loose connections and replace any damaged wiring or connectors. Thirdly, have the disposer professionally tested. Engage a qualified electrician to assess the disposer's electrical performance. The electrician can use specialized equipment to measure the disposer's current draw and identify any internal faults that may be contributing to the dimming issue. Fourthly, evaluate the circuit's load. Determine the total amperage draw of all devices connected to the lighting circuit, including the disposer. If the total load exceeds 80% of the circuit breaker's rating, consider moving the disposer to a dedicated circuit. Fifthly, investigate other potential electrical issues. If the dimming problem persists after addressing the aforementioned factors, it's crucial to investigate other potential electrical issues in the home. This may involve checking the grounding system, testing the circuit breakers, and inspecting for any signs of damaged wiring or equipment. Article 210.23 ATWO permits small appliance branch circuits, except as provided in 210.23 receptacle outlets installed solely for the connection of cord and plug connected appliances or portable luminaires shall be considered as outlets for general use and shall be permitted to be supplied from a branch circuit rated 15 or 20 amps. A 20 amp branch circuit shall supply only receptacle outlets or cord and plug connected appliances. The mention of Article 210.23 ATWO suggests that the connection of the disposal to the lighting circuit is within code compliance, assuming all the requirements of the article are met. This means that it is permissible to connect a cord and plug connected appliance to the circuit rated at 15 amps or 20 amps, but this does not eliminate the possibility of voltage drop due to any of the causes already mentioned. It's important to remember that code compliance does not automatically guarantee optimal performance or prevent voltage drop under heavy load. Understanding voltage drop is key to diagnosing this issue. Voltage drop is the decrease in voltage that occurs along a conductor as current flows through it. Excessive voltage drop can cause lights to dim, appliances to function inefficiently, and motors to overheat. The amount of voltage drop in a circuit is determined by several factors, including the length of the conductor, the size of the conductor, the amount of current flowing through the conductor, and the conductor's material, such as copper or aluminum. Longer conductors will experience greater voltage drop than shorter conductors. Smaller conductors will experience greater voltage drop than larger conductors. Higher current flow will result in a greater voltage drop. Aluminum conductors will experience greater voltage drop than copper conductors of the same size. The National Electrical Code, or NEC, provides guidelines for maximum allowable voltage drop in branch circuits. The NEC recommends that the voltage drop in a branch circuit should not exceed 3% at the farthest outlet for lighting, heating, and power loads, or 5% for feeder conductors plus branch circuit conductors. To calculate the voltage drop in a circuit, you can use Ohm's law, which states that voltage equals current times resistance, or volts equals amps times ohms. In the context of voltage drop calculation, resistance refers to the resistance of the conductor. Alternatively, there are online voltage drop calculators and software tools available that can simplify the process. Using a voltage drop calculator, you would input the parameters of the circuit, such as wire gauge, conductor length, and load current, to determine the voltage drop. For example, let's say we have a 120 volt circuit with a 15 amp load, using number 14 American wire gauge, or AUG, copper conductors, and the circuit is 100 feet long. Using a voltage drop calculator, we can determine the voltage drop in this circuit. With number 14 AWG copper wire carrying 15 amps over 100 feet at 120 volts, the voltage drop would be approximately 7.62 volts, which is about 6.35%. This exceeds the recommended 3% voltage drop for branch circuits, and it could be a contributing factor to the lights dimming when the disposer starts. To mitigate the voltage drop, you could increase the wire size to number 12 AWG or number 10 AWG, use a shorter wire run, or reduce the load on the circuit. If you increase the wire size to number 12 AWG copper wire, the voltage drop would be approximately 4.8 volts, which is about 4%. While this is still slightly above the recommended 3% voltage drop, it is a significant improvement. If you increase the wire size to number 10 AWG copper wire, the voltage drop would be approximately 3.2 volts, which is about 2.52%. This is below the recommended 3% voltage drop, and it would likely eliminate the lights dimming when the disposer starts. In addition to wire size and conductor length, the type of load on the circuit can also affect voltage drop. Motor loads, such as garbage disposers, typically have a higher inrush current when they start up, which can cause a temporary voltage drop. This inrush current can be several times higher than the motor's running current. To minimize the impact of inrush current, you can use a motor with a lower inrush current or install a soft starter, which gradually increases the voltage applied to the motor during startup. Another factor that can contribute to voltage drop is loose or corroded connections. Loose connections increase the resistance of the circuit, which leads to increased voltage drop. Corroded connections also increase resistance. It is important to check all connections in the circuit to ensure that they are tight and free of corrosion. When troubleshooting voltage drop issues, it is helpful to use a voltmeter to measure the voltage at various points in the circuit. This can help you identify where the voltage drop is occurring and which components may be causing the problem. Measure the voltage at the electrical panel, at the beginning of the branch circuit, and at the end of the branch circuit. If the voltage at the end of the branch circuit is significantly lower than the voltage at the beginning of the branch circuit, then there is likely a voltage drop problem. The voltage should be measured while the disposer is running to see the effect of the load. Also, ensure the neutral connections are solid, as a loose neutral can also cause voltage fluctuations and dimming lights. Considering the disposer is rated at 6.9 amps on a 15 amp circuit, the load itself isn't excessive under normal running conditions. However, the inrush current during startup is the primary suspect for causing the voltage drop. You can also consider the age of the wiring. Older wiring may have deteriorated insulation or corroded conductors, leading to higher resistance and voltage drop. Replacing older wiring can improve the overall performance of the electrical system and reduce voltage drop. The length of the circuit run, stated as 100 feet, is a significant factor. Longer runs increase resistance and, consequently voltage drop. If rerouting the circuit to shorten the run is not feasible, upgrading the wire size is essential. To summarize, the dimming of lights when the disposer starts is likely due to a combination of factors, including high inrush current, potentially undersized wiring, and the length of the circuit run. Following the recommendations of checking wire size, tightening connections, testing the disposer, and evaluating the circuit load will help pinpoint the exact cause and implement the appropriate solution. Don't overlook the possibility of other electrical issues in the home, such as a faulty grounding system, which could exacerbate the problem. For accurate diagnosis and repair, consulting a qualified electrician is always the best approach. To further elaborate on the recommendations, checking the wire size involves more than just looking at the markings on the cable. It's essential to verify that the wire gauge is appropriate for the circuit's amperage rating and the length of the run, according to the NEC tables. These tables provide guidance on the allowable ampacity of different wire sizes based on factors such as conductor type, insulation temperature rating, and installation method. Tightening connections involves more than just a cursory check. Use a screwdriver or wrench to ensure that all screws and terminals are securely tightened. Be careful not to over-tighten, as this can damage the connections. Also, visually inspect the connections for any signs of corrosion or damage. If corrosion is present, clean the connections with a wire brush or chemical cleaner. Testing the disposer involves measuring its current draw under both normal operating conditions and during startup. A clamp meter can be used to measure the current flowing through the disposer's power cord. Compare the measured current values to the disposer's nameplate rating to verify that it is operating within its specified limits. Evaluating the circuit load involves adding up the amperage ratings of all devices connected to the circuit. This includes lights, receptacles, and any other appliances. If the total load exceeds 80% of the circuit breaker's rating, the circuit is considered overloaded. In this case, it may be necessary to move some of the devices to a different circuit or upgrade the circuit breaker to a higher amperage rating. Checking for other electrical issues involves inspecting the grounding system for proper connections and continuity. The grounding system provides a path for fault current to flow back to the electrical panel, which helps to protect against electrical shock. Also, test the circuit breakers to ensure that they are functioning properly. A faulty circuit breaker may not trip when there is an overload or short circuit, which can create a fire hazard. Remember that electrical work can be dangerous, and it is always best to consult a qualified electrician if you are not comfortable performing the work yourself.